Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. Silver has taken off over the last 3 days. We're talking about a huge percentage change from $22 all the way up to almost $24. Now, what is happening? We're going to explain all of that in this video. Folks, I really hope you stay all the way through because we have two articles. This first one is talking about what's happening in the economy that's pushing silver up, right? The second one's talking about the behind the scenes stuff and if it's going to stay rising. So make sure you stick all the way through. If you like this video, then please like the video. Both of these articles will be in the description. Now you could see this is the 1 week chart. It was down $22.18, could have broke below that to $21, but all of a sudden, from December 6th to December 7th, we see it rising and just continually rising. Now, is this going to pick up on Monday, right? Because we're into the weekend now. On Monday, are things going, is this momentum going to stay? Well, this article right here could give us a lot of insight on that. Is silver finally out of the woods as China reopens and the Fed slows its rate hikes? We have two different things that could be pushing silver higher. So it goes on to say that silver prices have risen more than 8% in the last month. This has led investors wondering whether silver may finally be on the rise, following China slowly reopening its economy and the U.S. Federal Reserve signaling a slowdown in its interest rate hikes. Now, ironically, the end of the year, the holiday season is bearish for most investments. People are traveling, especially with inflation nowadays, people can't even afford many Christmas presents. So they might be selling some of their portfolio to buy Christmas presents, spending time with family and friends. And plus, some people get extremely depressed during the holidays. People are just distracted. And then next year, it picks back up. But silver isn't doing that. But with you have China reopening and also interest rate hikes slowing down, this could mean silver, the silver rally might continue. It even says that right here. Silver prices may finally be on the upswing. And this article was written yesterday, and look what the price of silver was, $22.69. And now, well, I guess 2 days ago for you, as this video will be posted on Saturday. But then you have right now silver at $23.71. So within a day, it's gone up $1. That's pretty big for something like precious metals. Maybe not crypto, but for silver and gold, that's a nice boost. Now, let's look at this article. Is China reopening boosting the silver price? China has been announcing the lifting of some zero COVID measures across several districts in China, or in Shanghai and Guangzhou, and that's as a result of widespread and increasingly violent protests. This has been sparked by a high-rise building fire, and that's resulting in the death of 9 people due to a delay in emergency services. Hong Kong also has announced that it may be doing away with the outdoor mask rule, as well as easing some testing requirements. Furthermore, Shanghai may also stop the requirement for COVID-19 testing for dine-in restaurants. So on December 7th, U.S. Treasury yields plunged, with the 10-year Treasury yields dipping below the crucial 3.5% mark, following investors showing renewed interest in bonds. This was sparked by the increased fear of nuclear war after Putin's recent comments about the threat of nuclear warfare increasing. This has gone a long way in helping support silver prices. A weaker U.S. dollar is also combining with lower U.S. Treasury yields in order to provide a boost for key precious metals such as gold and silver as economic uncertainty rises and investors move more towards safe haven assets. The stars are aligning. There's so many different things working for gold and silver. It just drives me crazy that it takes something like Putin announcing this and for the dollar to start weakening for people to say, oh, maybe I should start buying gold and silver. It's like, regardless if that's happening or not, you should be protecting your wealth with safe haven investments. Why does it take the things to happen for you to do it? Why not prepare and do it regardless? Because it doesn't take a crystal ball to see that things are going to get dramatically worse, right? However, next week's CPI data, which is due to be released on December 14th, may prove to cap the gains seen by silver recently, as it will highlight how effective the U.S. Federal Reserve's current monetary policy tightening has been so far. So we got to stay tuned for December 14th. That's going to be a huge day to see which direction silver goes. You best know that I'm going to cover it that day, so make sure you're subscribed. The FOMC meeting scheduled for December 15th. Wow. So we have 14th and 15th. So next week, there's going to be some big things happening with the price of silver. A lot of speculation, assuming you got to be careful because people leading up those couple days are going to be panicking and assuming the worst. Usually assuming the worst, and the markets will do very crazy things since people are basing all off of a guess and they don't know. But anyways, December 15th is also expected to shed more light on the Fed's plans for the future rate hikes, as investors already price in another 50 basis point hike for this month. Although this is definitely less than the 75 basis point hike we've been seeing in the last few months, it is yet too early to tell whether this indicates that the Fed, that the end in the Fed's rate hiking cycle is approaching. Now, more importantly, investors will have their eyes on the Fed's projections for inflation, growth, and interest rates for the coming year. And as of now, the market expects about 50 basis point of cuts for the second half of 2023. However, in case the Fed hints towards higher interest rate for longer, metals such as silver may see some setback. And see why this is so frustrating? Because all of this is just speculation. It's all speculation. The market expects about 50 basis points. We don't know, especially for the second half of 2023. And then even if they do hint towards higher, we don't know. That's just a hint, but that doesn't mean they're going to. And all of this speculation and assuming could set silver prices backwards. Why in the world is silver's price determined off of all this BS? It should be more of the fundamentals, right? It should be more of the fundamentals. But anyways, let's look at the technical analysis. Silver prices were trading around $22.70 per troy ounce at the time of writing, having briefly touched a more than 7-month high of about $23 per troy ounce last week, with a rise of about 20.6% since the low seen on November 3rd. And silver also increased about 25% since mid-October. According to Justin McQueen, senior market specialist at Capital.com, the silver outlook for December is not expected to change much. Last week, at the peak of the silver rally, we saw prices hitting about $23.37 per troy ounce, which also marks the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. I mean, prices are definitely doing some interesting things right now. McQueen believes that the next resistance point could be at $23.50, and it already broke above that. This guy is saying $23.50 is the next resistance, and it blew by that with it doesn't look like, let's look at the 1-day chart. So it doesn't look like anything too dramatic is happening, meaning that it might go a lot higher. What is the outlook for silver in 2023? That's a good question. I'd like for you to also comment down below what you think it is. The outlook for silver will depend on several key factors. First, investors are likely to keep a close eye on the progression of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, especially in light of Putin's recent comments about nuclear war. Things may also heat up considerably more in the coming months, as the European ban of crude oil imports from Russia has already implemented and will be followed by a refined oil production ban in February of 2023, which isn't too far away. And if it causes more geopolitical tensions, silver is likely to see more safe haven demand in the coming months. And if you're talking about just that type of demand, Western vaults are drained of silver to meet soaring Indian demand. Remember, India's demand is booming, more than double. And then incorporate the BRICS nations with that. Remember, Brazil, Russia, India, China, right? Saudi Arabia. India is one of those countries, and all of a sudden you see India buying more silver than ever. So that's just something that I don't think is ironic. I think that's too ironic to be ironic, that one of the countries in the BRICS nations is buying all the silver that Andy Schectman's been talking about for years now. So anyways, we have to remember this stuff. Now, if the US dollar eases, silver may increase further. However, this is quite unlikely as the US dollar is likely to decrease only if the Fed becomes extremely dovish or if inflationary pressures decline or China sees a major boom in economic growth. As these scenarios are quite unlikely at this moment, the dollar's not likely to see much downside in the coming months, hence restricting silver's upside as well. But we never know. I mean, think of week by week, so much changes. Month by month, everything changes. So to try to say, as these scenarios are quite unlikely at this moment, I mean, to even say that itself is pointless, because in a month from now, I'm sure so much is going to change. So many wrenches are going to get thrown in that flip the entire script that we can't try to predict anything. And that's why any type of forecast or outlook or prediction, take it with a grain of salt, grain of sand, because none of that ever really comes true. And if they do, then they got lucky, extremely lucky. Now, here's the price analysis. Now, they kind of did go over the price analysis. I just want to see if they threw in anything else. This is more for, the guys that look like that like the technicals. But anyways, it's showing that right now, and I'm not going to go too much into this RSI stuff. I want to read down here, though. So they're talking about buyers. This is all about buyers right now. So they go in. March's low near $24 and January's high of $24.70 will gain the market's attention. To sum up, the silver price remains on the buyer's radar unless the quote drops below $22. However, the upside room appears limited below $23.51, but it's already broke above that. Now, this article was written today, so this is fresh off the press, but you can see at the time this was written, it was at $23.16. So they wrote this earlier in the day, and then by the end of the day, you see silver up to $23.71. So a lot is happening, and it's looking extremely bullish. Now, there's going to be a correction. A correction is actually healthy. If it went from $22.18 all the way up to $25 or $24.50, 25, 26, it would crash pretty hard. It needs to go up a little bit and down a little bit, because this is overbought territory. And that's why this one's talking about the buyers. If everyone just keeps buying, and there isn't some type of correction or setback, then it's going to crash. You never want it to go up, because then it will go down. It needs to go up a little bit, down a little bit. Like right here, if it's $23.48, heading into Monday, maybe it sits at 24, and then maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, it drops back down to $23.50, whatever, and then it goes up to 25, and then back down to 24.30, and then up to 26, and then down to 25, and then you see what I'm saying? It can't just go straight up. That's like what Bitcoin did in 2016 when it went from like $1,500 to $18,000 within like half a year, and then it crashed, because that was extreme overbought territory. It went up, and it took years to recover. It took years and years and years for Bitcoin to recover, and that's because of that massive rally in 2016. You don't want silver to do that. It has to be more of a gradual approach, right? There needs to be the price stability needs to be built, right? Because if there's no stability, if there's no price stability, then when the top does drop, it's just going to crash down just where it started. But if there's price stability, then when it does correct, it can hold itself at $25 instead of going back down to $22. But yeah, anyways, that's what we're talking about in this video. We got a lot of other stuff. I mean, there's so much silver news, folks. You can see all this is December 9th. All of these articles were written today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 articles were written today alone. This is the past 3 days. 2 days, basically. December 7th to December 9th. All of these were articles written about specifically silver. This is all silver news. Silver news. So what I do every day is I go through all this, I highlight, I'll skim through all of them, pick the most important news, the relevant stuff that you got to know. So if you're subscribed, you're never going to miss a beat. I'll always make sure I catch everything, right? And sometimes I'll even backtrace a couple days just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So whatever the biggest news is that day that you got to know, I got you guys. I could literally be the only silver channel you subscribe to, and you'll never miss a beat because I'm always going to keep you guys up to date. Plus, I do have other sources as well. So I got you guys. Make sure you're subscribed. I post daily videos. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. And make sure that you liked the video if you did like the video. Let me know what you liked about this. Let me know what you think Silver's going to do in 2023 as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.